course, with New Year comes that time-honored tradition of New Year's resolutions. That annual tradition of browbeating ourselves into trying to be a better person for the next year, which generally relatively quickly fails and ends only in frustration. As you can probably tell, I'm not a huge fan. In my opinion, the best way to make yourself a better person is through minor changes throughout every day of your life. But I was, of course, tagged in a YouTube video challenge by Mark Goes Hiking to share with you my channel's New Year's resolutions. And since I'm generally a happy guy and I like to play along when asked, I'll put my poopy pants aside and we'll go ahead and try and figure out a way to do some New Year's resolution for the Everyday Backpacker channel. Now, of course, I know what you're thinking. This channel is going to be perfect for that guy, Chad, to show up and dog me a little bit on the channel. But don't worry, he's not going to be making an appearance in this video. God, that guy's a douche. Now, in order to do a New Year resolution the best way possible, which is to, of course, set new goals for yourself, you really have to reevaluate the goals you had previously to see if there are some ways that you can improve or just continue to stay the course. So I figured this would be a great opportunity to reevaluate the goals I originally set out with this channel almost 4 years ago. Man, I can't believe it's been that long. What a ride it's been. So when I started the channel, my really only goal was to use a new creative outlet to share my adventures with friends and family and allow them opportunity to see the kind of things I was doing. That was it. I didn't really have any far-reaching ambitions. I didn't expect to get a whole lot of subscribers. I just wanted to have fun and have a way to kind of explore a new artistic medium with also being able to share it with, people who might care. That original goal led to some unintended goals that equally were important to me, if not even more so. The biggest one of which was the unintended goal of creating and immersing myself into a community of hikers and YouTube outdoor creators that would eventually become more of a family than anything else. And truly, it's been that goal that has continued me on throughout this process. I absolutely love interacting with all of you. I love meeting the new people through the medium as well as other creators that I've been able to collaborate with as well as joke with, learn from, and just generally be able to share the experience of the outdoors, backpacking, and YouTube creating as it comes along. And in a lot of ways, those two goals are still not only relevant, also very important to this channel and are the main guiding forces behind it. And so in that sense, I don't feel any reason to resolve to change those goals. I'm going to continue to do those things because they bring me a lot of enjoyment and they allow me to continue to grow. That being said, there are definitely some things that I still want to change for this year in the channel and some new ways I want to grow the channel and expand some of the media choices that I make. The first big change I want to make is I want to expand some of the types of media that I make on the channel. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy making videos of trips, which are my primary goal, and I also enjoy making trip videos about gear and skills and things like that. But I also want to delve a little bit deeper into some of the psychology and philosophy of backpacking. So for me, if I'm reading a book or listening to a podcast about backpacking, hiking, or outdoor activities, although the gear and stuff like that is very interesting to me, it's what I do for a living, I'm really more gravitated towards the discussions about why people hike, what their motivations are, what do they get out of hiking, both mentally and physically, and what are some of the human relation stories that we can get out of these experiences. One of the greatest things about outdoors community in general is the way that we are able to relate to each other about our experiences in the backcountry. When you get backpackers together and they talk about their experiences, they don't talk about necessarily what kind of gear choices they made or what kind of skill sets they use or those kinds of things, which we tend to focus mostly on in these videos because they get views. One of the greatest things about the outdoor community is how we all have different but yet shared experiences throughout our journeys. Be it the way we feel after we've crested a tough climb to see a beautiful mountain vista, or the way we sit around the camp making dinner, telling stories about past failures on the trail or even poop stories. Maybe it's sitting around in the morning looking out over a mist-covered lake as we enjoy a steaming cup of coffee and to get our day started. These are the kind of things that people tend to gravitate towards when they talk about their experiences. So I thought it would be fun to explore a little bit more of the human story behind backpacking. Doing some more interactive things like live streams and interviews with other hikers and talking a little bit more about the psychology behind their experiences and why they do the backcountry thing. Sure, these probably won't get as many views as some of the gear review stuff does, but I don't want to be a slave to the view count, and I really want to explore topics that, frankly, I'm interested in. And I hope you will be too. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think we're going to get a lot of insight into the things that make backpackers tick and why they do the things they do. And so my New Year's channel resolutions are going to be simply to continue to move forward in the goals previously established and continue to grow the community through the channel. And my second resolution is to spend more time exploring different topics and to delve deeper into the more human side of backpacking, to give ourselves a more well-rounded topic for the channel. Now, don't get me wrong. I still love gear, and I'm still going to do stuff on gear. So don't hit that unsubscribe button just quite yet, because I'm not going to really change much. I'm just going to be adding some of the stuff in to give it a little bit more of a well-rounded appearance in the media content. Because let's face it, talking about gear is fun. Debating about gear is fun. It's what I do for a living. Literally, I sell gear. And so gear will always be a part of backpacking no matter what, and it'll always be a part of this channel as well. And along those lines, I do have some pretty exciting stuff coming up for this year as well. I made a pretty big decision over this season to change things up a little bit. And I have decided to purchase not only one, but two brand new of my big three items. So the first of the big three items I'm going to be replacing is going to be my tent. So I'll be replacing my Big Agnes Fly Creek 2-person for a Durston Gear X-Mid 2. This is a trekking pole tent that is absolutely massive interior space as well as double doors and double vestibules, so I'll no longer have to climb through my gear in order to get into my tent. So I'm pretty excited for that. The second big item I'll be replacing is my pack itself. Now, I'm not getting rid of either of these items. They'll still be in my repertoire, but I am going to be replacing my Osprey Exos 58 liter pack for a Waymark Gear Company light 50 liter frame pack. So I guess you could say I finally drank my fair share of the Cottage brand Kool-Aid, and I'm liking the flavor so far. The tent's already here, so I've had a chance to play around with that a little bit, and definitely will be some videos coming very soon about that. The pack itself is still being made. It's supposed to get here sometime around February, so can hardly wait for that one. So needless to say, there's still going to be some really great gear content coming up in the near future. Oh, and another resolution for the channel that is part of the channel, but not really directly related to the channel, is I'm hoping to get out on a lot more trips this year. Last year, 2022, was a little bit dry due to the flooding. Wasn't able to get out as much as I wanted to, but this year, I've got some pretty cool trips planned. So that's also a good thing. And that's it. Hopefully I fulfilled my requirement from Mark at Mark Goes Hiking to be able to do this New Year's channel resolution idea. So the next part for me is I'm going to send it to another hiker. This time I'm going to go down south to my parents' home state of Texas, to my buddy Jerry over at Tangent Trails, and see what kind of things he's got in store for the next year for his channel. If there's anything you'd like me to see, me do, or any ideas for upcoming content, let me know in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. And again, Happy New Year. Hopefully this one's going to be a great one, and we'll make it through it together. And as always, keep hiking on.